Hey, welcome back to Talking Shop, the Old Testament edition. We are in Jeremiah 31. We are not doing the Reformation Day observed propers. We are in proper 25. Like, subscribe, give us a quick why we should do Jeremiah 21.
Because it's all gospel.
It's all gospel.
It's all good. It's all gospel. It's a strong image, an image that preaches, one that gets people connected to Christ. It just... there's no reason. Oh, well, and it's also only 3 verses. So that's huge.
Yeah, that's helpful.
That's super helpful.
All right, thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, and God bless your preaching.
In every way, yet I'm still welcome in the arms of the King.
All right, welcome back to Talking Shop. We are in Jeremiah 31, starting at verse 7. Give us a quick why we should preach Jeremiah as opposed to the other readings for proper 25.
So we're going to be preaching this as the text, Old Testament text for Reformation Day.
All right.
And what I think you really want to do is focus in on how time is like an ever-rolling stream, which soon will whisk us all away. And so, it's been this many years down the river from the Reformation. And so what do we learn? Well, we learn that the warfare from the Reformation times, the warfare back in Jeremiah's times, always warfare for the truth. To the Reformation times, the war there, we were given rest. We were given something beautiful because we have been brought by the rivers.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Jesus says, all who come to me, I will make in them to come up out of them streams of living water, and that's the gospel. That's what the Reformation fight was about.
Awesome. So let's find that in the text.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Verse 7. This is what the Lord... am I in the right one? Yeah, 31.
Yeah.
This is what the Lord says. Sing with joy for Jacob and shout for the greatest of the nations. Make your praises heard and say, Lord, save your people, the remnant of Israel.
Yeah, I think the really cool thing here is you're seeing a transition from warfare to rest. You're seeing the exiles come home. The desert becomes a vineyard. And so this is redemption. Where there was death, there's life. And so for Jeremiah, this is huge because all this guy knew was like sucking on eggs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just the worst. And so for him, this is all, come quickly, Lord, and restore us. Bring us home. Revive us, let us live again. That which was dead and desiccated, bring it to life. So, yeah.
That sounds eschatological.
It does.
Yeah. Well, they're singing about their family being brought back, and we're all brought back, at the eschaton. You know what I mean? And so this is a great one. You go from misery to relief. You know what I mean? There's just so much there. And so this is very eschatological, Sam.
Yeah, well, you just praying for not only just the restoration of certain peoples, but for it's the universal restoration, which will happen, at the eschaton, right?
Yeah.
But and how the Lord is our shepherd forever.
Yeah, I wonder if you can get at the kind of the eschatological part about this, where Jeremiah say a day is coming, so the Yom Yahweh, and maybe if you want to fit in the assigned Reformation Day reading from Revelation, you could fit it in that way through Jeremiah, which nobody would expect, right? Yeah. So a day is coming, and then you can show how Revelation is amening that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good. What do you think, Adam?
Verse 8.
He thinks verse 8.
Watch, I will bring them from a land in the north and gather them from the ends of the earth. The blind and the lame will be there. The pregnant woman together with the woman in labor, they will return as a huge community.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. Big. So big. What do you think about that?
Me?
Yes.
Either of you.
Oh, man. Well, I have my little notes up, and I like the cross-reference that they have here to Ezekiel 34, 12 through 14. As a shepherd seeks out his flock when he is among his sheep that have been scattered, so I will seek out my sheep, and I will rescue them from all places where they have been scattered on a day of clouds and thick darkness. So it's this restoration images of being gathered together and being, no matter where you are, but this God is coming to find and rescue us as the shepherd. And that's a beautiful image and eschatological as well. We are the ones that are being found and brought together, and we only are brought together not through certain interests that may interest us, but we are brought together ultimately by the power of the gospel and freed by the gospel, which is a very important theme for Reformation as well.
Yeah, no, and if anybody out there is like a rancher or they deal with like animal husbandry or something like that, this will make a lot of sense to them, that shepherding image, because when there's great turmoil or a storm, the flock scatters, and what do you have to do? You have to go out and find them. You know what I mean? And they'll run into places that they shouldn't be. Like they'll run into the woods where the wolves are waiting, right? And so this good shepherd, he seeks them where they may be found after this great turmoil. That's the same thing for Reformation Day. We had this great turmoil, which was the captivity of the church, and now there's this great effort, like that angel in Revelation, to go out and to gather all those disparate people, all of the flock back together. That's cool. That's
cool. The image in my head is that they're gathered around the Word.
Yes, that's exactly correct.
Right? So they're being gathered around the Word in Jeremiah.
Yes.
The Reformation was about being united and gathered around the Word. Right?
Yes.
And eschatologically, all the nations, every tribe, every tongue is going to be gathered around the Word, the Lamb who was slain.
Yeah, that's so good. The woman at the well, she came for water. That's verse 9. And she left with a word. Yeah, isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah, that's it, verse 9.
Yeah.
They will come weeping. They will pray as I bring them back. I will lead them beside streams of water on a level path where they will not stumble. For I am a father to Israel. Ephraim is my firstborn.
Yeah. So here's where you can hit all the Psalms. Psalm 23, lead them beside the still waters. Or Psalm 1, I make them to be planted by the waters. I mean, you could do a big run through the Psalms just to kind of pepper them with all this, connecting the imagery of rest and waters from Jeremiah to that. But then you can go to John, especially like the woman at the well, or even John 7, or when Jesus says, come to me all, and I will make them to flow out of them streams of living water, the word, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what Psalm 1 is about. That's what the woman at the well came for. That's what Jesus is talking about. I just think that's great. I think that's eminently preachable.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know everything. But so why?
I'm disappointed.
Why are they coming with weeping in such? It sounds like a triumphant text and a hopeful text. Why are they coming with weeping?
Well, if you've ever watched somebody who's endured something so long, they've been in it for so long, that the joy, the reversal, the coming back, you're kind of grieving it out. You know what I mean? You're very happy, but it's like it's a lot of emotion. It's a lot that had happened. You know what I mean?
So these are tears of joy that they're weeping, and not tears of fear that, like, hey, I've been brought back. It was their sin that caused them to go to exile.
Right.
And so you could have that. The image that came to my mind was like, oh, are they coming back, but they're afraid that they're coming back because they know they're going to have to confront their sins? Or I don't know. It was just it was an interesting image because it seems so hopeful, but they're coming with weeping. It doesn't say tears of joy.
Yeah, I think even maybe some of that rough stuff is in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like they're coming back, and that there's a lot. I just think it's the grieving process, so it's a little messy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wouldn't go too hard down on what, if it's this type of weeping or that. I think it's all of that mess,
right?
All of that grieving and joy at the same time. If you come down too hard, like saying it's a negative feeling, then you could do like Zerubbabel's temple, like they rebuilt it and then they wept because they were like, this is nothing.
Right.
But then also tears of joy. I wouldn't push too hard on that. I keep it general.
Yeah.
So it can catch everybody in the room.
It just seemed interesting to me that it was
Yeah.
they're coming with weeping.
Yeah. Good catch. Yeah. It is weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
If people describe me, empathy is not normally one of the first words that comes to mind. They don't think of me as a very emotional guy. I'm not a crier. There's a handful of things that'll get me to tear up. Veterans,
Yeah.
dogs,
Oh yeah.
my kids,
Yeah.
and the gospel. Right?
Yeah.
The gospel really preached, right? The reconciliation of the world, right? Jesus coming back and fixing all that is broken,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That solidly preached.
Yeah.
That, right? Like that will get me choked up. That I look around at the broken world
Yeah.
and the thought of Jesus coming back and fixing all of this, all of the brokenness that I've experienced,
Yeah.
that'll get me choked up. That'll get me weeping.
Yeah.
That, like, just imagining how wonderful and awesome and glorious that's gonna be.
Yeah, the gospel's the promise too that all sad things will become untrue
Right.
on that glorious last day.
Yeah. The appointed psalm for the day has this really great line in it. Psalm 46:4. It says, "There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High." And then I think that just connects to Revelation 22, which is there's that stream, that river that's issuing forth, from the city of God.
Yeah.
And so I think I agree with you. It brings me to tears when I hear the gospel proclaimed, fully and explicitly, because I'm just so grateful. And I think that might be the experience they're talking about here. Yeah. The good sad,
Yes.
not the bad sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. Okay. I suppose if there was a structure that I would promote for this, it would be an image-based structure, and I would do a single image, rivers of water, and then I would just kind of develop that, and I would pepper those verses in order to kind of sew the different parts of these three verses, basically.
Yeah.
I would sew that together to maintain the image, in order to kind of drive how they're understanding how God is working in their life. Yeah.
I think that the image I'm going to use is the nations gathered around the word.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other closing thoughts?
No, I'm good.
I'm excited.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, give us some comments. Tell us what is working on this Old Testament edition. Tell us what is not working on this Old Testament edition as we get this one rolling and we get this figured out.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for joining.